Hey there everybody, so this is my Edpuzzle presentation project. I really like this program, and again I thought the best way to show you what I was able to do is through a screencast. So this here is my video, and let's take a look at it. We're going to go into Edit. So here you can see that I edited the clip, I cut it off on the ends, just some of the intro and the outro that I really didn't need. Up here is where you can add the audio track. That was one of the things that we had talked about me doing. However, there's one problem that made me not really want to use it. In order to do it, right here it says you have to record the audio of the whole video for it to be able to save. So you can record an audio track over the top of it, but you will not have the audio from the original video, and you can't intermix it, unfortunately, at this point. Hopefully one day they'll be able to say, oh yeah, the first minute I want to put my audio on top, second I want, them talking. But, this video is primarily, they're talking, so I didn't really want to do it all over again, and they did a really good job of it. But if I wanted to do it, all you have to do is press right here, and as I'm talking, it's recording, and then, I can stop and say that's where I wanted to record to. But you have to record, and it has to go all the way to the end before you can save. So I'm just gonna remove that. And then we'll get to the rest of it here in a minute. So we're gonna finish. Here's where you can add some really cool features. You can say, this has to be done by this date at this time. This is where you prevent skipping. I'm gonna keep that turned off, just so that it's easier to show you this show. Won't take as long, but that's how you turn it on and off. And this is where you assign it to a class. And you can add classes here. This is going to be assigned to U.S. government. And hit send. And that's the class code that your students will link to. And now we're going to see what students see. And I'll show you what kind of questions I did. So see as student. And we're going to go ahead and click play.
Shut up. Let's get started and see if we can figure out what the limits of free speech are, assuming that there are some.
So like I said, I'm just going to skip ahead. Normally you can't do that if you mark it as such, but just for the sake of time, I'm going to skip ahead so we can get to our questions
free speech protections,
and notes.
Or should I say you would be put in jail. Don't put me in jail. Oh, that's right.
So this is a note that you can add in. I used it to explain the Putin joke. And you can add pictures within it, which is really great. So I put a picture of Putin on there, on his horse. So that's pretty fun. You can, and if they want to go back, they can rewatch, and get the right answer. If it is a quiz question.
US, it doesn't matter. The stories of oversensitivity.
And then here's the first question. And the primary purpose of free speech is to allow for criticism of the government. That's true. You hit submit. And then right there it will tell you whether you got it right or wrong, and you can't change it at that point. So
and hit continue. Silencing people who question their rule, or even
we're going to skip
ahead.
Who
shouts fire in a crowded theater. In later cases, Holmes limited this idea largely because it gives the government a lot of leeway to say what kind of speech creates danger, especially during a war, as was the case with Schenck. Thanks, thought.
So the first question was a true and false. This is an open response, so I'm just gonna say yes, okay. Blah, blah, blah. And then the student will just hit submit. There's no right or wrong answer. I'll show you how that works later. Hit continue.
Well, political speech isn't the only type
and we're going to skip ahead to an audio note, which is different than an audio overlay. It just pauses it, and I can insert, a little snippet of my voice. So this is the audio note coming up right here.
Symbolic speech also includes burning an American flag, which...
Just a quick note on this class. If you have this knowledge, it comes in handy. For example, a few days ago on Facebook, one of my neighbors said that it was against the law to stamp on the American flag. Okay, we'll just skip ahead to the end.
So it was the government that punished him for speaking out. For most of us, complaining about our employer's policies may get us fired, and unless we are government employees, we can't claim that it violated our First Amendment rights.
And here's another this is a multiple choice. You can add, a whole bunch of different questions, and I think you get like up to 60 characters to write an answer. So I'm going to answer this one wrong so you can see what happens there. See, it turns red instead of green, and it says, oh, that's the wrong answer. This was the right one. So hit continue.
Like all of the amendments, is meant to protect us from an overreaching
and the video is
government. There are other
end.
types of laws that help us deal with individuals who do things that we think are wrong, but we'll talk about those in another episode.
So that's done there. We'll go back. And now I can go to progress and see, each student will have signed in here. It'll say watched. This one will say, oh yeah, he only actually watched 30% of it. And then it will tell you, did they get 60% or higher? Did they get 60 to 90, or did they get above 90? So you can quickly see which of your students are doing well, and you can see which questions most students are getting up here at the top. Now, if you want to go into each one, you can see what answers. So on this short answer, open-ended, I can say, oh yeah, that's good answer. So then that bumps that student up, and it makes scoring really quick and really easy. Go back to class progress. And so then you can see everything there, and then you can export, and it should open up an Excel document here. And right now it doesn't have anything because I don't have any actual students, but that's where you would see it and be able to grade it. So that's my presentation. Thanks for watching.